Oh boy, another triple play. Hopefully this one doesn't suck, especially if it has something to do with video games. So here is 3 rare NES games you might, but probably don't have. So let's start it off easy. In August of 1993, the Taito Corporation released a sequel to the 1991 game, The Flintstones: The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy. However, that game, despite it being pretty fun in my objective opinion, is not really that rare. Like at all. It's like a $15 game. However, the sequel, The Flintstones Surprise the Dinosaur Peak, is a completely different story. The game, released 2 years into the Super Nintendo's life cycle, and thus confirmed by multiple sources to be a Blockbuster exclusive rental title, is extremely rare. To put it into perspective, the only way to have acquired this gem was to have rented and, heaven forbid, stolen it, or purchased it at the time when the corporation was either phasing out inventory or closing its doors. Flintstones: The Surprise at Dinosaur Peak remains the second rarest officially licensed NES game of all time, and it isn't expected to change at any time soon. But let's move to unlicensed. Oh boy, Action 52. Originally developed by Active Enterprises for the NES in 1991, and later by Farsight Technologies for the Sega Genesis in 1993, with a handful of changes to the titular 52 games, the unlicensed multicart featured 52 different games, though all of them were admittedly pretty bad. Besides the reasonable, buggy, glitchy gameplay flaws, entire levels of the game are incomplete, with freezing being a very common occurrence. The games included were so unreliable, in fact, that Active Enterprises held a contest for $104,000 if you could complete level 8 of the included game called The Ooze. However, reportedly, the game would freeze and crash after as early as level 2, making the challenge impossible. The featured game of the set, however, was called Cheetah Man, as an attempt to launch a franchise of comics, action figures, and more. However, bad press and bad gameplay destroyed the possibility of a franchise, and the now $200 Action 52 cartridge remains infamous in gaming history. However, this would not be the last we would see of the Cheetah Man. Like stated in the previous entry on the list, the Cheetah Man had a bright future ahead of it. That was before people realized how unplayable it was, so a sequel was planned, and then never released as the project was dropped. Fast forward to 1996, a warehouse was discovered that housed 1,500 copies of the unfinished game. Simply a reused Action 52 cartridge with a sticker with the name on it, it was clear that this was never meant to be a retail game, and with an unavoidable glitch at the end of the 4th level, it very much resembles its predecessor. Cheetah Man 2, due to the extremely limited amount of cartridges out in the wild, leaves it one of the rarest NES games of all time, and is now going for around $1,000, and it's clear that for better or for worse, the impact Active Enterprises left in history will remain substantial for years to come. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for the continued support. Do you have a suggestion? Be sure to let me know, as I'm always open. Thanks again, and have a wonderful night.